Bengals fans, what's going on? Stone Shields on hand once again for another edition of Bengals Breakdown. Thank you so much for joining us. We got a really exciting show today, and we're going to spend a lot of time on star quarterback Joe Burrow. We have another member of the media out predicting that Joe Burrow will win the MVP this year, as well as predicting another magical playoff run for the Bengals. Also, Bleacher Report released their head coach quarterback rankings, and we'll take a look at where the Bengals land on that list. And also, Joe Burrow looks a little bit different this year in 2024, and we're going to dive into that as well. But first off, make sure you comment on this video because the person that comments the most on today's video is going to get a shout out in tomorrow's video. So we'll have plenty of opportunity for you to get down in the comment section and give us your thoughts throughout today's show. But if you have anything else on your mind, just feel free to hop down in there and let us know what you think. Once again, whoever comments the most on today's show will get a shout out on tomorrow's show. So Sports Illustrated predicts that Joe Burrow will win the MVP award this coming season. Connor Orr, one of their writers, is the person that made that prediction. So let's take a look at what exactly he said. He said, the Bengals quarterback will finally officially be back. Amid Cincinnati's Super Bowl run, oh, that's exciting, Burrow will post 4,700 passing yards and 35 touchdowns en route to an AFC North title. I predicted a Super Bowl run and brilliance from Burrow last year before the preseason calf injury and the torn wrist ligament sidetracked any attempt to make it through a full season. I am now simply taking my position and bringing it into the new season like an investor who will not let go of his once darling stock in the portfolio. So that, of course, is certainly very exciting that we got people out there in the media that think the Bengals are going to have success this season. And taking a look at what Burrow has done throughout his career, last year obviously was not ideal with, just never really got out to a good start, got hurt during training camp, didn't look right, and only really looked right for a couple of games before he eventually, ended his season with that wrist injury he suffered against Baltimore. But taking a look at what he was able to do in 22 and 21, very promising stuff, right? I mean, in 2022, he was in the running for the MVP award, and he ended up getting fourth place that year. In 2021, obviously, everyone remembers that magical year, and he was really brilliant throughout that. So I think plenty of high expectations for Joe Burrow this year, and certainly excited to see if he is able to stay healthy and what he will be able to do with all of his weapons back. Look, when Joe Burrow's healthy, I still think he's the second best quarterback in the National Football League. I think a lot of people out there agree he's, certainly a top 5 quarterback. But, not to take anything away from Josh Allen, but I just think Joe Burrow, how he commands the offense and really excels towards the end of a game and, his decision-making and all those things kind of rise him to the top. And, of course, number one would be Patrick Mahomes. And Joe Burrow, of course, has shown that he has been able to beat Mahomes before in the past. So taking a look at where the MVP odds sit right now, it's fair to have Mahomes at 1, right? I mean, he's clearly the best player in the league. He's at the top of the mountain, back-to-back Super Bowls. He deserves to be at that spot. Allen at 2. People are really obviously obsessed with Josh Allen and what he brings to the table. Obviously, he's a freak athlete, and he does things that, people really aren't used to seeing. So I understand him being there. As far as C.J. Stroud being tied with Joe Burrow, what are we doing? I mean, I get he had probably, the best season a rookie quarterback has ever had, but I think putting him up there in that spot is a little aggressive. But that's just kind of taking a look at some of the MVP odds going into this year. I think Jordan Love is another guy that could certainly have a really good season. And I feel like Justin Herbert might be getting slept on a little bit. I think with Harbaugh coming in, he's going to have a really nice year, and they're going to be formidable nearly immediately. But Joe Burrow's going to have a lot of opportunity, put up a lot of big numbers, right? With T. Higgins coming back, Jamar Chase will be there. They drafted a receiver relatively early in the draft in Jermaine Burton. And, they have guys in place that they believe in as well, bringing in a couple of tight ends as well, signing Mike Gesicki, of course, and then re-signing some of the guys, Drew Sample and Tanner Hudson, as well as addressing that position in the draft. And another thing about Joe Burrow is he plays his best in December and January, right? When you talk about the MVP, that's when you really have an opportunity to go kind of grab that by the horns and go win that award. I think that's what we saw a lot last year with Lamar Jackson. That race was really, really tight, and at that end, he had some really big games and really separated himself from the field. And I certainly believe if it's close towards the end of the year and, the Bengals are kind of hanging around, haven't fully taken control of the AFC North yet, and he's able to go on a run like he typically does in December and January, wouldn't be surprised at all if he ended up walking away with that trophy at the end of the season. So your first opportunity here to get involved and interactive in the comments. Let us know what you think. Will Joe Burrow win MVP in 2024? Type Y for yes or type N for no. If that ad comes here on YouTube, that's fine. Take advantage of it. Hop down below and let us know what you think in the comment section. All right, so moving on here to kind of what Bleacher Report has said in terms of where Burrow and Taylor rank among the league's head coaching and quarterback duos. And as we know, the head coach and the quarterback, those are the two most important spots in the NFL. So if you want to, have a chance to be successful and win a lot of games in the league, you got to be really, really good at those two areas. Let's take a look here what Bleacher Report said. In regards to Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow, they said Zach Taylor may have been on the hot seat before the Cincinnati Bengals selected Joe Burrow with the #1 overall pick in the 2020 draft. In 4 seasons, Burrow has played more than 10 games twice, and in both campaigns, Cincinnati made appearances in the AFC Championship game. While you can make the case that Burrow has significantly boosted Taylor's head coaching resume, the Bengals' lead skipper has proved to be a solid play caller. Under Taylor's tutelage, Cincinnati fielded a top 7 passing attack in 2021 and 2022. And last year, Jake Browning, an undrafted quarterback out of Washington in his 5th season, threw for 12 touchdowns and 7 interceptions with a league-leading 70.4% completion rate. I think Jake Browning's play certainly helped Zach Taylor in the public eye, right? It's always been my belief that Zach Taylor is a really, really good coach, but I think a lot of people out there nationally kind of thought, oh, it was Joe Burrow just elevating the team, which certainly there's an aspect of that as well. But when you saw how Jake Browning came in and as an undrafted guy and played the way he did and kept the Bengals in games, helped them win games, and helped them finish with a winning record, I think you got to give Zach Taylor a lot of props with that. And also another thing about Zach Taylor that's incredible is his playoff record is 5-2. And, Joe Burrow gets a lot of credit for that, but you got to understand that Joe Burrow in these playoff games has thrown for 9 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So has he certainly been able to protect the ball and make the good decisions late in the game for the Bengals to win? It's not like he's going out there going crazy, putting up crazy numbers, right? The Bengals have been in a lot of dogfights, and Zach Taylor has made a lot of great decisions in those games that have helped the Bengals kind of propel themselves to victory. And we're going to dive in exactly where Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow rank according to Bleacher Report in a second. But first, want to let you guys know that Bengals draft hats are available now. You can hop down there at that link right there, chatsports.com/Bengals draft hats, and get you some Bengals swag. I think a lot of these guys were, wearing these hats on draft night. I've put my order in. I'm certainly getting a couple of these. So make sure you grab yours as well. The link is going to be down in the comments and the description of this video. Plenty of cool hats. And, I think certainly a lot of people at Paycor Stadium are going to be certainly wearing these throughout the season. So make sure you get those Bengals draft hats now. Once again, that is chatsports.com/Bengals draft hats. Moving back over to Bleacher Report's top quarterback head coach duos. As you can see here, they've got the Bengals at the #5 spot. I don't have a massive problem with this list, but I certainly would put the Bengals above the Baltimore Ravens, right? When you think about John Harbaugh, #1, he's not really an offensive coach, right? Special teams background. And it's not really, hit the combination with him and Lamar Jackson that make them great, right? Lamar Jackson's very much kind of a freestyle player, and the reason he's so good is because of his athletic ability and the amazing things that he can do with his legs. I don't think it's really the tandem of the two of them that make the Ravens such a great football team. And another thing, what is Sean McDermott doing on this list? I don't understand that at all. I certainly get Josh Allen's greatness, but Sean McDermott, in my eyes, Buffalo flops this year, and obviously they lost a lot of pieces. I'd put Sean McDermott on the hot seat, really. He's really struggled with kind of adjusting to how the game works and I think they've put way too much stress on Josh Allen and his body. I don't understand why they are at that spot. Granted, Josh Allen is great, but I probably would not have Buffalo at that sixth spot. But when you look at the top there, I think a lot of those guys with like McVay and Reed, those are the best coaches in the league, and Shanahan. So certainly that's why you find them at those spots, but really don't have an issue with the Bengals being there. But like I said, certainly would probably put them ahead of Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh. Once again, your chance to get interactive here on today's show. Where do you think Burrow and Taylor rank among the league's duos? You'd like them where Bleacher Report had them in that 5 spot? You think they're better than that? You think they're a little bit worse than that? Let us know down in the comments section. And once again, remember, if you comment the most on this video, you'll get a shout out in the next one. So make sure you go down there and participate for us. Last story here that we're going to touch on today's show. Joe Burrow looks a little bit different. He's certainly added some size to him as he gets ready for the 2024 season. And he didn't put a number on his gains, but he said he's bigger. He's definitely bigger. Here's exactly what Burrow said. He said, "I'm going to continue to get stronger and bigger throughout the offseason and just play it by ear, depending on how I feel. I'm in a good spot right now. I'm really strong, bigger than I was. We're going to continue to eat right, lift, and go through my routine and see where I'm at." And this, of course, is, his season last year that was cut short by injury. And people, are going to claim that, oh, Joe Burrow is injury prone. And I guess that's true, right? If you look at, his career, he's gotten hurt several times. But I really don't like that phrase because really the only thing that concerns me is last year, right? With the calf and then the wrist. I mean, his rookie year when his knee, completely blew up, he was getting rocked, throughout the entire season. And it was only a matter of time before something very bad happened. And it happened. As far as the appendectomy goes, I mean, that's not football related, right? Some of the things like that just happen in life sometimes. So really, it's only last year that concerns me, but I certainly think that, if he's able to stay healthy, nobody can beat the Cincinnati Bengals, and they can really go out there and compete against anybody in the National Football League. And once again, just want to remind you guys to subscribe to our channel here at Bengals Breakdown. We talked about yesterday how we'd have that sub battle with our Steelers channel, and actually you guys did a tremendous job yesterday. I got 50 subs off of yesterday's video. So remember, we still have a few days to catch the Steelers. If we can put in another performance like we did yesterday, we're going to be right on our way. So make sure you hit that sub button down below. That is youtube.com/BengalsTV.